Hello and welcome back to some standard battles. Eldritch Moon is officially out on Magic Online, which means it's time to battle with some brews for the new standard. Been looking to bring this one to you guys for a while. Made a few changes to the deck, but overall the core concept is the same. I've written about it in the past. I've played versions of this in older standard, although I think it's gotten some huge boosts. And so I'm specifically going to focus on those during this little bit of a deck tech. Um, so the main premise here, for anyone that's not aware, is a black/colorless Eldrazi shell that uses a lot of value creatures that are black and Eldrazi, such as Wasteland Strangler, Bearer of Silence, Thought-Knot Seer, and it uses those to gain 2-for-1 advantages over time. It adds those advantages up throughout the course of a game, and you typically tend to beat most opponents down by just wearing them out of resources. There are some new additions from Eldritch Moons I'm pretty excited about, and so I said I'm going to kind of focus on those. The biggest one being Distended Mindbender right here, as gross as he is. He's kind of our big, powerful new Thought-Knot Seer, and it's a little awkward in that he comes down generally the same turn that Thought-Knot Seer is going to on turn 4. But that said, his ability is a little more powerful, especially on turn 4. Your opponent has no way to regain the cards back that you take, which is pretty nice, so you can play him freely into removal. And most of the cards you're going to sacrifice to it in our deck, you're pretty happy doing so, whether that's Matter Reshaper, Pilgrim's Eye, or one of our 3 Wasteland Stranglers. So he's kind of the new awesome thing. Between him, Transgress the Mind, Thought-Knot Seer, and Collective Brutality, you have quite a few ways to rip an opponent's hand apart. In addition, you have plenty of ways to deal with annoying creatures in play. Bearer of Silence, Warping Wail, Collective Brutality, Liliana, Ruinous Path, Wasteland Strangler, all of which are going to deal with creatures in play, not to mention Blighted Fen. So things are kind of in trouble whether they sit in somebody's hand or in play against this deck, which is something I love. So the next big addition from the new set is Liliana, the Last Hope. She's pretty awesome in this deck. I only run 2 of her because I wanted to max out on 3-drop creatures because of how well they synergize with Mindbender, getting a turn 4 Mindbender. But Liliana is still very, very powerful, and so I wanted to fit her in the deck. 2 copies of her right now. All of her abilities are very relevant. I explained all of the 2-for-1 nature of all of our Eldrazi creatures, so when you get to rebuy them with her -2, you just get a ton of extra value out of that. And then she also has the ability to kill small things. She can also shrink people's toughness or power down, which allows your Warping Wail to be a little more active. So because this exiles a creature of power or toughness 1 or less, the -2/-1 means you can take out a 3/3 or a 3/4 or whatever with this, which is pretty nice. And then Collective Brutality is the other new card. All about versatility here. All 3 of our cards that were talked about from the new set are very, very versatile. This has a discard option attached to it, where you get an instant or sorcery card from it, or it has a removal option to it, which is why we cut some of the Warping Wails out and the Grasps. But -2/-2. I'm a little concerned with not being able to deal with bigger creatures because we did get rid of Grasp of Darkness and we only have 1 Warping Wail. But I'm trying out the versatility of this. Also, it has the Drain Life option on here, which is something our deck could always use a little bit more reach. So we have Reality Smasher to provide us with some, but a couple of Drain Lives off of the Collective Brutality doesn't seem like it would hurt. In addition to all those actual new cards, we also added a couple Sanctum of Ugins to the deck because Mindbender triggers it, so we can transfer our Mindbender into something like a Thought-Knot Seer or a Reality Smasher, and we can finish the game off that way, or just back it up with more hand removal, or whatever we want. We can get a Bearer of Silence. Just a couple of copies of that, which replaced the Seagate Wreckage from before. I figured Seagate Wreckage is a little less likely to be active in this deck because we have Collective Brutalities, which you might want to be holding. Although the discard a card part would theoretically trigger it, but the fact that we're going to be holding this for more opportune times means that in the meantime our Seagate Wreckage wouldn't be active. Also, there's a good chance that you end up holding a Mindbender or 2 and you can't cast it, or a second copy of Liliana or a Ruinous Path or something. So I just wanted to hold off on the Seagate Wreckage and give Sanctum of Ugin a try instead. In terms of our sideboard, pretty straightforward to what we had before. We have one additional collective brutality in here. Couple spatial contortions, which are really good against things like Bant Company. But at the same time, I don't know if this is a worthy sideboard card because we have a lot of other removal that is a lot more powerful. I mentioned the collective brutality. There's also flaying tendrils in here. We also have Kalidas, which is pretty good against those decks. There's a Virulent Plague. So yeah, we have a couple spiritual contortions. I'm not 100% sold on them. We'll give them a shot though. One Reality Smasher to round us out against control and slow decks, give us a big finisher. A couple of Duresses to rip apart their hand, and even more than we already have. Right now in our main deck, we have the 2 Brutalities, 2 Transgress, 4 Thought Knots, and 4 Mindbenders, which is 12 main deck hand disruption. And then in the sideboard, 2 more Duress, a Collective Brutality, and 2 more Transgress to mine. So 5 more pieces of hand disruption. We can go up to 17, which is just crazy amounts against a control deck. And then, like I said, the Reality Smasher also comes in, and we just start punishing them really bad. Flaying Tendrils should help out against all the really small decks. And Kalidas is just really good against all the graveyard-based strategies. Could even go in our main deck, to be honest, but I'm only running Thought Knots here in the 4-drop slot because of how much Distended Mindbender is a 4-drop. Because you sacrifice a 3-drop to it, and then Submerge costs a 7, which means it's a 4-drop. But yeah, that's where we're at with this deck. I'm pretty excited to give it a try. I'm sure we're going to need to do some tweaking and twisting and stuff as we run into metagame, but it seems like a really good place to start, and it's a place I'm pretty excited to attack the metagame from. So with that said, we're going to be right back with round 1 here. I am Conley Woods, as I mentioned earlier, TCGplayer.com, bringing you the Eldrazi. I never changed the name, so we're just going with it's what it says right here. I can't help myself. When I write Eldrazi, I gotta call it out. So we'll be right back for round 1 here momentarily. Thank you for watching.